Okay, on the wrong page here. So this is the GISR playlist, and if you've watched any of the other videos about the 9 systems that we work on, this is module number 1. And there's not a great deal that's in this module, but we have to understand how the GISR is increased and what the roadblocks are that stop your body from making performance hormones and, making us feel like shit. So at the end of the day, the analogy I like to use to my clients is you've got 2 buckets. Bucket number 1 could be full of stress. You could be somewhere in between, or you could be like the rare few that are consistently locked in their GISR and producing optimal levels of performance hormones. And this is where we want to go. And the 3 scientists that I'll continually talk about, and also more, they show us how to do this. So the very first thing we're going to do is talk about how we can increase the growth index. And Professor Sapolsky, so we're talking about the 2 main hormones here, stress hormones, dihydroepiandrosterone, DHEA, which is the one we want in the right direction, and cortisol. You don't want to lower stress, because I used to think erroneously that if you lowered stress, you'd feel better. If you want to feel apathy, you want to become bored frequently, and you don't want to have a great deal of energy to take the day on, sure, lower stress. But that's not what it's about. It's about optimizing stress and having high growth index. And the 8 systems that I'll talk about throughout this whole training. So dihydroepiandrosterone, DHEA, is the metric of success. And when we, as Sean Aker says, who's a Harvard psychologist, we're 31% smarter by default. And the way he found this out was a very large study. So Professor Sapolsky said that there's an inverse correlation between the ratio of cortisol to DHEA. So when stress is going up, whether we feel stressed or whether the body is becoming stressed, and we can feel this in many different ways: brain fog, cravings, getting irritable and frustrated. This inverse correlation here, this cortisol will start coming up, and then we become stressed. We don't want that, because it's going to lower the 8 sexy systems and decrease our growth index. We want to keep it locked in high. And there's an easy way to tell where you're at with this. Your thoughts, your behaviors, where are they? You can use the 80-20 rule here to work out where you are predominantly and how well you're performing. The 80-20 rule is a very good metric. So if you're over this side, 80% of the time, you'll be focused. You'll have big enthusiastic energy for the day. You'll be grateful. And when I drive into the benefits of DHEA, thunder, beautiful. That was really well timed. When I drive into the benefits, you'll see that it's all tightly correlated. High growth index and DHEA and all these positive feelings. Over here, yeah, not so much. So you increase your GISR by moving towards your potential. So you've got to feel like you can take the day on. Now, before we finish up here and go on to how DHEA is going to be, we're going to move it in the right direction. We have to just own these 2 ideas. Idea number 1, stress-based thoughts start the ball rolling. They start the ball rolling. Now, there's only two times when this will happen: when cortisol is going up or inflammation is going up. And that will eventually lead to stress-based behavior. So at the end of the day, we reach for the beer, we reach for the comfort food, and we reach for bad manners. We snap at our loved ones. And Professor Sapolsky said that there's been research and studies done now that show that we do this because it's toxic for the body. Stress harbors aggression. And when we become aggressive and we snap, it releases this. But the beautiful thing is that, you know, once you know the 3 roadblocks, well, there's 4, but the 3 main roadblocks, you'll be living over this side most of the time. Now, let's have a quick think about this. Stress-based thoughts and stress-based behaviors over here, 80% of the time, or over here. Performance-based thoughts, focused, enthusiastic, curious, planning our next move, performance-based behaviors. This is where I want to take you. So let's go into the next video.